All right, folks, got a new entry, new episode for you. So if you know me, you'll know that I like to sort of change up the format, try new things each time, or not each time, but frequently I like to change things up and have kind of a new perspective, a new way of thinking and doing this sort of stuff. And if you also know me, and if maybe you've watched some of my other types of videos, I do a lot of technical work. So kind of the hot topic that's been on my mind, and at least in the minds of the people in my industry, and it's pretty popular, is the stuff going on with artificial intelligence, and specifically ChatGPT. That's been all the hot topics. A lot of the trending kind of news is like, how is ChatGPT going to change the landscape of the tech industry and probably most of the industries out there? And I'm not going to dive too much into depth on that. Maybe I'll save that for another time. But I have been kind of playing around with ChatGPT and getting familiar with the tool and seeing what kind of stuff it provides. So I've got a pencil. I don't know why, but I'm going to use my pencil to talk. I don't know where I'm going with that. So what I've been wanting to do is see how I can use ChatGPT to kind of create some topics for this channel and do a little bit of a deep dive on those topics, or at least make some thought-provoking episodes for you folks. So decided to just try something very basic, very simple, and asked it to generate a list of some questions that any adult could answer, but would require a little bit of deep thinking. And this is what it came up with for me, which I thought was kind of cool, kind of interesting. And of course, the first number one question on the list is, what is the meaning of life? So maybe we'll dive into that one a little bit. But it generated a list of like 15 things for me. Difference between happiness and contentment. How do you define success? Important lessons you've learned in your life so far. The nature of consciousness. That'll be a really, really tricky one to talk about. The balance between work and personal life. Love that one. That's near and dear to my heart. Relationship between knowledge and wisdom. Difference between passion and obsession. That sounds pretty intriguing. Difference between passion and obsession. I like that. Purpose of art. A role of love in our lives. How do you become more self-aware? That's kind of something that I've been talking about in this channel. Relationship between risk and reward. The role of forgiveness in our lives. That's an interesting one. Difference between faith and a belief. And the meaning of freedom. So that's the 15 things that it kind of generated for me. I think maybe I'll do a little experiment and see if I can film some conversations, some thoughts around each one of those. So, maybe I'll have 15 episodes to share with you folks regarding this stuff. So let's go with number one, meaning of life. And that's a huge one. And I would love to hear from you folks. There's the pencil. I'd love to hear from you folks on what you believe the meaning of life is. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to go with that, but I'll share with you my opinion of the meaning of life. And it's very simple. Just go with the word. The meaning of life is to live, and figure out whatever that means for you as an individual. Does that mean the pursuit of happiness? Does that mean the pursuit of perhaps spirituality or religion? Does that mean the pursuit of success, or perhaps some sort of altruistic thing like helping people, or maybe just finding your own meaning in life? Or perhaps it could mean maybe a hedonistic approach of just pursuing what makes you feel good and avoiding pain or suffering. So it can mean just about anything. So there's, and I would love to hear from you folks if you have opinions on some of those things, or maybe other ideas as well. But for me, I go with kind of just the very simple, what is the meaning of life? Life means to live. So to do whatever it means for you to live. And that's kind of the approach that I take. But I like to kind of pair that up with living a life of compassion. So not making it completely about yourself. It's still important to take care of yourself, kind of put yourself first, but in a way where you're still being compassionate towards yourself and towards other people. You don't really want to live in a world where you're putting yourself first so much that you're actually hurting yourself or you're hurting other people. That kind of goes against the whole point of living your life. So that's sort of where my brain goes. That's a very surface level answer, but these are only 5-minute episodes, so we'll keep it kind of light, and maybe we'll dive even further into each of these as time goes on. So again, love to hear from you folks. What do you think? What is the meaning of life to you? All right, till next time. Peace.